Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 13B. My name is Alesha Mullah, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 11th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology, ICICT 2026 in London, UK. The 11th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held in London on the 24th of February, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom from 25th to 27th February 2026. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes to present and 3 minutes for question and answer. On 10 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants. Please stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Before we start the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session. Dr. Gurdal Ertek is an Associate Professor of Management at the College of Business and Economics, United Arab Emirates University, Al Ain, UAE. He specializes in business analytics, supply chain management, project management, and blockchain technologies. His expertise includes data mining, industrial engineering, operations research, and R&D management, with a strong focus on data-driven and analytical approaches to management and innovation. I would like to request Dr. Ertek to please say a few words.
Well, everyone, welcome to this session. I am hoping that it will be a great session and looking forward to the presentations. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next chair for today is Dr. Sridevi S. Vasekar. Dr. Vasekar is an associate professor in the Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering at SCTR's Pune Institute of Computer Technology in Pune, India. Her research interests include machine learning, data analytics, image processing, and video processing. She is actively engaged in teaching and research, contributing to advancements in intelligent signal and data processing technologies. I would like to request Dr. Vasekar to please say a few words.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Vasekar. I'm Dr. Sridevi Vasekar. I will be serving as research chairperson here for this session. It is a pleasure to in room 13B as a part of ICT. Okay. This session brings with the state of prevention address the I field, the education technology. This reflects the depth of on this field.
I believe she was disconnected. But yeah, welcome to our chairs, and we will continue with our presentations now. So our first presentation for today is by Ajaybir Singh, who will be presenting a survey on poaching detection technologies. Ajaybir, you can now start your presentation.
Just 1 second. Good morning, respected chair and fellow researchers. I am Ajay Singh, along with my co-authors Disha, Shashank, and Ananya Kinney. We will be presenting a survey paper titled a survey paper on poaching detection and technology. This work explores how AI-driven sensor-based systems can transform anti-poaching efforts and wildlife conservation. Next one. The agenda we will be going through for this one is for the first, we will show a problem statement. Then we will go through the key challenges and motivations for technological interventions before moving into literature review for this paper. The problem, our problem statement for this survey was illegal and wildlife poaching remains a severe global threat to biodiversity and endangered species survival. Traditional anti-poaching methods rely heavily on manual patrols. However, forests are vast, terrains are difficult, and response times are often delayed. These limitations make continuous monitoring nearly impossible. Our survey evaluates modern solutions such as sensor based monitoring, UAV surveillance, AI driven image analysis, and IoT enabled systems, with emphasis on real time detection and predictive analytics. Next. Next. The key challenges we saw over the course of this survey can be categorized into the five challenges seen on your screen. Vast forest areas that cannot be manually monitored is one of the major challenges faced. The other four are limited personnel and delayed responses, large volumes of unprocessed camera trap data, increasing sophisticated poaching tactics, often at night, and a lack of real time automated risk assessment systems. These challenges clearly highlight the need for intelligent and scalable solutions. Our core research question is how can we automatically detect and assess poaching risk in near real time by analyzing environmental and human activity indicators? The shift we aim to study is from a reactive enforcement to proactive and predictive prevention. So, the need for technology here we can see is computer vision models can detect humans and vehicles in aerial ground imagery. IoT based sensor networks continuously monitor environmental conditions. Predictive analytics use historical data, weather pattern, and animal movement to identify high risk zones. Together, these technologies reduce response time, improve patrol efficiencies, enable proactive conservation strategies. This forms the foundation for our literature review on existing poaching detection technologies. I will hand off to Disha to continue with the literature review. Disha, you are muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I will now discuss the literature survey, which explores different technologies that researchers have used in order to detect wildlife poaching. Now, over the years, several approaches have emerged that include sensor based detection systems, UAV assisted wildlife monitoring, machine learning approaches, IoT based frameworks, and some advanced technologies, which include multimodal fusions. Now, for the sensor based detection, it is one of the earliest technological approaches to poaching detection, and it involves sensor based systems. Now, these include acoustic sensors that can capture the sounds such as gunshots or vehicle movements or animal sounds. Now, we also have motion detectors that can trigger alerts when any kind of activity is detected, and the camera can automatically capture these images. Now, these systems help conservation teams monitor these forests continuously without requiring any kind of constant human intervention. So, this will automatically increase the efficiency while detecting poaching. Now, the next is the UAV assisted monitoring. Now, this is another important advancement which is used, and it uses the unmanned aerial vehicles, also called the drones. Now, drones will provide like a bird eye view of large forest areas, and it can also access regions that are very difficult for humans to reach. Now, with the help of thermal and infrared cameras, you can detect any kind of human presence or animal activity even during the night. Now, this aerial perspective will allow conservation authorities to monitor the animal habitats and track movement patterns and respond very quickly to any kind of suspicious activities. ML and deep learning methods. Yeah. ML and deep learning have significantly enhanced poaching detection by enabling automated analysis of images and videos. Now we have models such as convolutional neural networks, which can identify animals, humans, vehicles, any kind of objects from any camera or drone footage. For real time detection, we have models like YOLO, which will immediately give the response to any kind of potential threats. Now, these AI driven approaches will reduce the need for any kind of manual intervention. Now, this will significantly increase the efficiency and the accuracy. Any kind of conservation teams can process large volumes of visual data without in an instant without any kind of their intervention. Now, the next is IoT based poaching detection. Now, IoT based systems are interconnected sensors to continuously track environmental conditions and animal movements. Now, for example, we can use GPS collars to help monitor endangered species, while the sensor networks will detect any kind of unusual activity within the protected areas. Now, these system will enable real-time data collection, which is a very key point in this particular type, and it will allow the authorities to monitor the wildlife. This monitoring will happen very remotely, which will improve any kind of situational awareness and any proactive conservation strategies that the teams can use. Now, advanced sensor technologies. Now, recent advancements include the use of thermal imaging, infrared sensors, satellite images, etc., to enhance the large scale monitoring. Now, by combining the data from multiple sources, now teams can gain a more comprehensive understanding of the wildlife habitats, any kind of patterns, and human activities present. Multimodal models in general are one of the recent technologies which are coming up, which uses multiple formats of data. This will significantly enhance the reasoning of poaching happening or not. Now, this integrated approach will improve accuracy of detecting, and it will provide more valuable insights for any kind of planning for patrol routes or protecting any vulnerable regions. I will hand over now to Shashank.
Yeah. And now I'll be talking about the research gaps. Basically, like how it's happening right now is that we have many advancements happening, but there are still a lot of gaps in how to completely like identify poaching and everything, such as like high false alarm rates, limited scalability, and there's a lot of like connectivity constraints and ethical concerns and widespread adoption. So starting with environmental noise and false alarms. So there is a lot of sensor-based systems available right now which use sound. But the problem is with like ambient sounds such as rain and thunder, we falsely classify it as animal calls for threat, leading to like frequent false alerts and reduced reliability. For limited monitoring coverage, we have UAVs that cover forests, but they're very densely packed, so it's very hard to like actually tell what is happening in the forest right now. For AI model limitations, the machine learning models they perform really well, but when they're trained on a very limited data set, they have false positives. And sometimes they misclassify tourist rangers and animals as poachers, which we do not want, which like can come under as false positives. And
And I'm
yeah,
so sorry to interrupt, but you have about 2 minutes left.
okay. We have connectivity and power constraints. So the IoT systems they need constant power supply and internet to keep running. And for high costs and ethical concerns, like all the new AI models, they need like high cost to run. And the ethical concern is the privacy of of using these models publicly. Machine learning and model choices. So we have four models right now that perform really well. Faster RCNN, YOLO V5, Ensemble, and GNN Spatial. As we know, as you can see right now in the graph, faster RCNN performs really well, but the problem is it takes more inference time. So it runs a little bit slower and it gives the output a little bit slower, which we do not want. We need faster results. YOLO V5 performs really fast with 30 FPS, but it's a little, little not very accurate as faster RCNN. Ansel model is a group of multiple small models that performs like really well. But again, we have limited a data set for it. GNN Spatial is part of ensemble modeling where we use graph neural networks to classify and like the outputs. This helps in like reducing the false positives that are happening right now. This is the comparative analysis of the research gaps that I've just showed you. Uh, for acoustic sensors, there's real-time gunshot detection with sounds, but high false positives. So like ambient sound like a rain or like footsteps or anything else like get classified as a call for help. For camera traps, visual evidence and species IDs is a strength, but limitations are manual retrieval and delayed alerts. UAVs is rapid aerial coverage and thermal night detection, but there's limited flight time and canopy occlusion, which such as like the forest is densely packed. For satellite imaging, there is large scale context, but there is less resolution, so it's not very clear, and which will again lead to false positives. For IoT sensors, there's alerting and geofencing, but again, power and connectivity, security risks. AI detection, high accuracy with label data, false alarms, and data scarcity. I'll be handing it uh, over to Ananya Kinney to explain future directions and research roadmaps.
So for the future direction, we propose an approach using hybrid AI frameworks, which combines YOLO for real-time object detection with GNNs for contextual reasoning, and then we also suggest temporal tracking, which also tracks movement patterns over time. So it's not just spatial; it's also temporal, and authorities can make decisions based on that. We also have multimodal data fusion, which several images like thermal, acoustic, satellite imagery to reduce false positives and actually improve our accuracy and reliability. Then we also have a model optimization, so refining AI models according to like the parameters that we want for different environmental conditions will actually improve and make it more generalizable for different areas. Next slide, please. Yeah. So for the conclusion, we figured that no single technology was enough for this. I think multimodal fusion and using GNNs for spatial context and edge-enabled IoT is the most practical route. So combining all of this gives like a very reliable system that can actually help authorities fight poaching detection. Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
Yes. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes. I have one question. How can multimodal sensor fusion improve robustness? What are the challenges synchronizing heterogeneous data streams?
Okay, heterogeneous means it's one type. Wait, no, heterogeneous means multiple types. Yeah, so multimodal will cover all of that, such as like sound, visual, and text-based data into one. It will be hard to integrate it together, but it is possible. So we can uh, let's take sound as the first parameter, and then we take a video from the UAVs as the second parameter. So if there is a sound that is coming at a particular area, and we're not sure if it is a false positive or if it's actually a call for help from the animals. If we aren't sure, then we can use the UAVs to check the area and see like if it is an actual call for help and if there is actually poaching taking place. So this will be like a multimodal example on how we will be like using it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question as well. I remember you had some type of a chart where you compared different type of algorithms. Could you bring
Yeah.
up that chart again?
Okay, yeah, sure. Just 1 second. This one, right?
Yeah, I mean, how did you come up with these numbers?
So these were from previous research papers that we had referred to on how they were solving poaching detection.
I see. Okay, so I think, I mean, you should cite, if it's from an earlier research paper, you should tell where it's coming from, right? You need to put a citation to it.
Yeah, I think we will mention it.
Otherwise, you know, one might assume it's your own work, it's your own research, right? So
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
as a general principle, whatever is in our slides or in our papers, especially when it comes to figures, we must certainly cite the source. And by the way, you cannot even take a figure as is. Maybe I think you just reconstructed this. That one is okay, but even if you are getting the numbers from somewhere, you have to, cite the reliable source, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll take it into
So
consideration.
yeah,
Thank
just it's very important. Otherwise, it's just like it's not your work. It's not your work. Whatever is not your
Yeah.
work, you need to respectfully cite. Now, I see it's a nice review of the literature, and I see you guys are very young researchers, so that's really fascinating. So please do not take my suggestions as a criticization in a bad way, but in a criticization in a very good way. So I do not see the list of papers that you have reviewed. Like right now, this seems to be something that somebody really experienced or maybe AI could generate. So what you need to show to the reader or even to the audience in the presentation is you need to show that this is actually based on the following sources that we personally reviewed. So it would be nice, especially in literature review papers, to put citation, like, to put the citation number in brackets, for example, 17, 14, 7, 3, like that. And at the end, list those resources. So that would be the best practice. Another suggestion, I mean, so is that what you did? Did you just use some papers to come up with these, or did you use AI to generate these output?
So actually, this was a survey paper, so we referred to a lot of papers to come up with
Okay.
this.
So
Yeah.
then you need to list those papers at the end, and then you need to also cite them. Another thing, instead of just making some verbal interpretations like this which is very valuable in itself, and I learned a lot of new things. Again, it's still already good, but something that could make it much better is using these existing tools, software libraries for literature review. Okay, so there is, for example, a very, very famous R library called Bibliometrics. Okay, so this is a famous R library for conducting literature review. So let's say the papers that you have downloaded, you just use these papers and you analyze those papers with this R package, or you could also use some other software as well, and then you come up with deeper insights, visualizations, so that maybe on a two-dimensional map we can see where these different topics reside. Okay, so that's another thing that could have been much more useful. Just as another suggestion, you could also apply techniques of topic analysis. So yeah, sorry, topic modeling. So that's another technique that you could be using. So it will be accompanying the wonderful text that you have created together with visual maps in that case. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any more questions from anybody else? I don't see any more questions. I'll conclude this then. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You can now stop presenting. Our next presentation for today is by Wana Rotaru, who will be presenting Analyzing Agile Role-Specific Needs for REM Tools, a survey-based study. Wana, you may now start presenting.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, can you hear me first?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Just a moment. Okay, so if you see my screen right now. Okay, So hello, my name is Wana Rotaro, and I will present the paper 141 entitled Analyzing Agile Role-Specific Needs for REM Tools, a survey-based study. Before discussing agile roles and interfaces, we need to understand the broader context. Requirements engineering plays a fundamental role in the automotive industry as vehicles evolve, especially within automotive driving and advanced driver assistance systems. The complexity of systems increases significantly. We are no longer dealing with isolated components, but with tightly integrated hardware-software ecosystems. With this growing complexity, the importance of well-defined, traceable, and clearly structured requirements becomes even more critical. In this context, requirements engineering and management tools, or so-called REM tools, are not just documentation systems, they are central infrastructure elements in automotive development. They support traceability across the lifecycle, version control, and compliance with strict regulatory standards such as ISO 26262 or ISO 29148 for requirements engineering. So REM tools operate at the intersection of complexity, safety, and regulatory pressure. And this is precisely where agile practices are increasingly being adopted. As agile methodologies are increasingly adopted in automotive development, a new tension appears. Agile promotes iterative development, rapid feedback, dynamic collaboration. However, agile roles such as agile product managers, product owners, and agile team members interact with REM tools differently. Each role has distinct responsibilities, workflows, decision-making perspectives. Despite these, most REM tool interfaces remain generic, a one-size-fits-all design. This raises an important question of the study. Do different agile roles require different REM tool interfaces? The purpose of our study was therefore to identify and analyze the role-specific UI and UX needs for agile practitioners using REM tools in the automotive sector. To our knowledge, this is the first survey focused specifically on the UX of automotive REM tools from a role-based perspective. We conducted a survey involving 65 automotive engineers, including product managers, product owners, and agile team members, and analyzed both quantitative results and qualitative feedback using thematic analysis. By integrating these perspectives, we aim to highlight whether REM tools should evolve toward more role-adaptive designs. To investigate this question, we conducted an empirical study within the automotive domain. The research followed a quantitative survey-based design and was carried out within one automotive company department. This ensured that participants were working in a real-world industrial environment, actively using REM tools such as DOORS Next Generation, DOORS, or Jira. Our focus was specifically on identifying agile role-specific UI and UX needs within the REM tools. The survey had three main objectives. First was to evaluate REM tools' usability from the perspective of different agile roles, product owners, product managers, and team members. Second, to identify role-specific UI and UX needs. And third, to collect concrete suggestions for improvement. By grounding the study in an industrial setting, we aimed to ensure practical relevance and also realistic insights. The study involved 65 participants from the same automotive division. The distribution was relatively balanced across the agile roles. 20 were product owners, 20 product managers, and 25 agile team members. All participants were actively using REM tools such as DOORS, DOORS Next Generation, or Jira, ensuring familiarity with the system. In terms of age and experience, product owners and agile team members were predominantly in the 25-34 range, while product managers were more evenly distributed and generally more senior. Product managers and POs were broader experience in both automotive and agile roles, whereas team members tended to be less experienced overall. This demographic structure reflects a realistic agile team composition, combining early career and mid-career professionals. To To capture role-specific perspectives, we designed 3 separate surveys, one for each agile role. Although the surveys shared a common structure, they included tailored questions relevant to the specific responsibilities of each role. Each survey consisted of 4 main sections. First, the demographic information. Second, the usability and feature evaluation, where participants rated aspects of the REM tools on a scale from 1, meaning very poor, to 6, meaning excellent. Third, a feature ranking section where participants prioritized REM tool features according to their importance for their role. And finally, open-ended questions allowing participants to describe limitations and suggest improvements. The surveys were administered via Google Forms and distributed electronically by email. Now, interpreting the quantitative findings presented in Table 1 and 2, we came to the following conclusions. For the roles of agile product owners, tools were usable but rigid. There was dashboard customization, their priorities are reporting analytics, requirement traceability, integration with development tools, and their main necessity is strategic visibility and decision support. For the product owners, there was mixed satisfaction. There was weak integration with other tools, there was limited customization, and kind of a poor agile workflow alignment. Their stakeholder feedback integration, which was a top priority, requirements traceability, and backlog prioritization and reporting. Also for the agile team members, generally accepted usability, but also frustration with the UI complexity, integration capabilities, and performance. Their priorities are requirements traceability, which was the strongest, the real-time collaboration, and the integration with other tools. The team members also need operational clarity and synchronization. One conclusion based on the quantitative results of the study would be that while traceability is a shared priority, a role-specific feature demands diverge significantly, revealing a misalignment between agile workflows and generic REM interfaces. Also, the teams identified their role are the following ones presented in Table 3. For product managers, the first is performance and usability issues with the subteams, tool speed and loading problems, and UI and navigation challenges, and integration complexity with the subteams, traceability, handling, and integration with other tools. The third is the flexibility for agile projects with the subteams adapting to agile needs and real-time updates and flexibility. For the product owners, one team is stakeholder feedback challenges with the sub-teams integration issues and accessibility limitations. The second, performance and reliability issues with the sub-teams as system stability, improved error handling mechanisms. The third, UI UX flexibility with the sub-teams intuitive interface, real-time updates. Fourth, customization importance, having the sub-teams real customizable views. For the agile team members, the themes are tool limitations and performance with the sub-themes of slow performance and tool crashes. The second, UI UX challenges with the sub-themes, poor intuitiveness and usability and insufficient feedback. And integration problems with the sub-themes, data synchronization inconsistencies, and limited tool integration. And ultimately, customization needs, having the sub-teams flexibility in requirements handling and customizable views and dashboards. Here, a conclusion would be that the teams converge around performance, integration, user interface complexity, customization, but the emphasis differs by the role context. For the agile product managers, identified issues are focused on slow tool speed, non-intuitive navigation, difficult integration with other platforms, rigid dashboards, and poor agile adaptability. And improvement directions would be improve performance and reliability, simplify UI navigation, enhancing the integration with email, meeting tools, dev platforms, providing also adaptable dashboards and real-time updates. For the product owners, the identified issues are around difficult stakeholder feedback integration, system instability and outdated information, complex task navigation, limited customization. The improvement directions are for integrate communication channels into requirement and update speed, simplify backlog or task views, enable real-time collaboration and flexible dashboards. For the Agile team members, the identified issues revolve around extremely slow performance, crashes, incomplete poor UI clarity, weak synchronization with dev test tools. Improvement directions for optimized performance and stability, provide clearer actionable feedback, enable seamless synchronization, interface flexibility, and more drag and drop functionalities. As it can be, all agile roles improvements converge towards higher performance and reliability, better real-time collaboration, role-based interface customization. Based on the presented table 5, we computed the weighted scores of REM tool features ranked by each group. Conclusions are that first, traceability is the only universal anchor, appears in top priorities for all 3 roles, confirms its foundational importance in requirements engineering and management for automotive sector. But traceability is necessary, but not always sufficient. Also, secondary priorities diverge systematically. The highest ranked feature per role differs. For the product managers, there was reporting and analytics. For the POs, was backlog prioritization and reporting. And for Agile team members was real-time collaboration. So the role responsibilities directly shape tool expectations, perceived. The third, integration is important across roles, but context dependent. For the product managers, there is integration with development tools. For the POs, integration of stakeholder feedback, and for the Agile team members, integration with other tools. So the term integration means different things to the different roles. Customization emerges as a supporting priority. Team members ranks dashboard customization in top 5. Qualitative data reinforces demand for flexible views. So static interfaces do not match agile variability. And also agile workflow support is not dominant in rankings. Despite dissatisfaction with workflow support in ratings, it does not consistently appear as top ranked. So that means that users may prioritize concrete operational needs over abstract workflow alignment. Also, by integrating both quantitative and qualitative findings, we identified several key directions for improving REM tools. First, performance and core usability must be strengthened. Participants consistently reported unstable systems, unintuitive navigation mostly. These issues are not minor inconvenience, they directly affect productivity and decision making. Second, the stronger interaction across tools is essential. Agile teams operate in interconnected ecosystems. Weak integration with development, testing, and communication tools creates fragmentation. So the real-time data synchronization and automated linkage across systems would significantly reduce the friction. Third, the role-based customization emerged as a central requirement. Rigid dashboard and identical interfaces for all roles fail to reflect the distinct workflows for product managers, product owners, and team members. Users demand flexible views, personalized dashboards, configurable filtering, more dynamic interaction models such as drag and drop functionality. And finally, real-time collaboration must be enhanced. Agile relies on rapid feedback, immediate visibility. Limited inline communication and delayed updates undermine responsiveness. These findings suggest that future requirements engineering and management tools should evolve from feature-centric systems toward role-adaptive and UX-driven platforms aligned with agile workflows. To conclude, this research explored how different agile roles interact with REM tools within the automotive sector. By integrated quantitative and qualitative findings, we identified consistent patterns. Performance and stability issues remain significant barriers. Non-intuitive interfaces increase cognitive load of the users. Integration gaps disrupt agile workflows, and also customization has emerged as a strong cross-role demand. The core conclusion is that while REM tools provide essential functionality, particularly in traceability and compliance, they sometimes lack role-specific adaptability. And this area remains underexplored in the literature. Future work should therefore extend this study across multiple automotive organizations to increase generalizability. It should also move toward the design and validation of role-adaptive REM interface prototypes. And additionally, investigating adaptive interfaces supported by AI-based personalization could open also new directions for intelligent requirements engineering and management ecosystems. Ultimately, improving REM tools means shifting from generic and feature-driven toward flexible, more role-aware platforms that truly support agile methodologies, collaboration in complex automotive environments. Thank you. Any questions?
I just want to make some comments, if it's okay.
Sure.
Firstly, congratulations for this important topic because requirement analysis takes a lot of time, and software tools are typically too much. They have too much bells and whistles, and they don't have proper interfaces. And especially enterprise software, I don't know which ones you are using. Of course, it may be confidential information, but they have too many things, and you don't know where they are. So it's a very important issue. So the work that you are doing could really speed up the requirements process, and also even the prototyping and even just design generation process. So congratulations.
Thank you.
My feedback to you would be just some of the interesting information or some of the interesting results that you are providing. Actually, they could be really nicely visualized. Okay, so that could really make it easier for communicating to audiences. For example, when you make cross comparison of findings, for that one, for example, you could use a heat map. Okay, in the x-axis you would have the roles PM, PO, TM, and on the y-axis you would have the different priorities, let's say, reporting and analytics, etc. And then each cell would be sized and colored according to the value that they have. So this way you could really visualize these results and make them more understandable. So that's just my first feedback. So you could use Tableau and other visual analytics tools to this end. And there are also open source Tableau-like software as well. Tableau, Click, these are classic business intelligence tools, Power BI. So you could visualize these in your future reports. And one other thing I wanted to ask, I'm really curious. The current existing requirements, REM, let's say, REM software, do they provide all these capabilities? Or would you still have to even get some external data to be fed into those legacy systems to be able to generate these priorities for different roles?
As I know, because I'm a requirements engineering in an enterprise environment, yes, they provide their capabilities when choosing one REM tool or another. They provide their capabilities, but also internally, there are teams which work on the data models and which personalize somehow, but there's only one limit of this personalization and customization capabilities. personalize a bit, but also focusing only on the requirements engineering workflows specified in the standard. So yeah, they provide some, but you also internally have to, I don't know how to explain this. You also have to make yourself familiar with that and create a so-called language that will be spoken inside the company or department where you are using it. So yeah, there are some, but you also have to personalize what you can do. Yeah, I don't know
I
if I
see.
answered the question.
Generative AI, yeah, I understand. So, and last remark, generative AI, you could really use it a lot, especially these advanced AI models. They can do, they can really do automated requirement analysis. Just as a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
suggestion.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
is a
and
topic of
if you have
interest.
confidential data, you could just just run them on your server, on your own servers, because some of these are open source models. So I have tried, for collecting requirements, for harnessing requirements, synthesizing them, and structuring everything. These generative AI models, at least I tried ChatGPT, but I know the others are also very good. You could really use these things that could speed up the requirements process. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you as well. Thank you for your words and for your recommendation. Thank you.
Dr. Vasekar, do you have any questions?
No question. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. In that case, we'll be moving on. Our next presentation is by Kirshbidek Kurbanov, who will be presenting Avoiding the AI Programming Dark Age, a pedagogical framework for mastering database fundamentals. You may now start your presentation.
So can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right, thanks a lot. It's my pleasure to say hello to professors and researchers. My research area is a little bit practical. I'm pure IT guy, and I got my bachelor in my country, and I got my master in South Korea. And it has been a while, a few months, like since I am starting my PhD. So far, before I deep dive my research paper, I will give you a short, brief introduction what we do. I actually run three companies in my country, like fintech, AI agents, and tech area. Like from fintech, we created a few products in our market, and we develop AI agents for US and Europe companies as well. Mostly we use like autonomous agents, custom agent, and no coding agents. Like autonomous agent, we usually develop like ELISA OS, and then the custom agent like LangGraph products. The third one, no coding agent, is one of the most popular one for US and Europe market. The latest area, it's my passion actually, tech. I like tech, and I decided to create uh, contents based on this screen. Like for example, in our company, we don't use front-end developers. The reason because AI does better, and but these courses, this content is remain like even in AI area. So I created like last 2 years I created few contents. One of them is like a database one. Like I created three contents. The first one like fundamentals one, second one like solving most hard challenges like problems. The third one like advanced database mechanism. Like this kind of contents like doesn't exist in our country, even like in other countries as well. So let's deep dive my paper. So my paper based on this one, like mastering database fundamentals. So my question is simple. In what order should we learn or teach database to achieve following goals? Goal is simple, like how to solve even hard level SQL problems and how to write efficient queries in backend system. So, and I proposed paper, like I proposed like advanced SQL feature and ASF. As ASF, I just mentioned in blue area, like few important features like row number, rank, dense rank, and other important ones. But most of the courses or like content, they don't consider this one, but it's an important one. So why I call programming dark age, because even our company, we don't use like junior developers, like for the next 10 years, like it's hard to imagine how junior developers can like increase their knowledge. So that's why we need fundamentals. And I compared my curriculum to other curriculum as well. For example, Udemy, Yandex, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Like as I mentioned, there is ASF that I mentioned, 17 SQL elements, but other most popular platforms, they don't cover all. And this is my curriculum based on my CTO experience. Um, so the first one, like being able to solve hard level SQL problem, how can we achieve this? Like we solved more than actually I solved more than like 200 SQL problems from lead code, and I see there is a behavior. For example, to solve easy problems like basic SQL elements, that's enough. But to solve medium one, like we should know ASF. To hard one, ASF is not like enough. There should be some algorithmic logic as well. For example, like for this medium problem, we give like two solutions, but as you see, there is a self join and leg and lead. That is, I mentioned it, ASF elements as well. Even hard problems, like usually it uses ASF elements like a row number and other. The second solution is the same, like we use raw number. How to write efficient queries in backend system. For example, let's see, we have this kind of table, and we should retrieve data based on year, month, and year, month, day, and all cases, kind of all combination. What developers usually do, they do write this kind of SQL query, but it's not efficient unless if we know ASF elements such as rollup, it's easy to solve. It's fast. And the second case that in our company, for example, we did fintech project, three fintech projects so far. If we go back and we do transaction, and based on this SQL tables, we should get this chart. But it's kind of hard problem, and we put this kind of solution. As you mentioned, ASF, we use viz and row number as well. Like to solve hard problems, we definitely should know ASF. Second solution as well, like second solution is improved one, than the first one, a recursive version, and viz. And there is a third case that we did in our company. Like we did one project for the factory, and the project was related to the accounting. So in accounting, like debit and credit, we should know the latest value. So if we know ASF like last value, and then we could easily catch last value. Last value is a ASF element. If you don't know this kind of ASF elements, like it's hard to retrieve last value as well. So this is a short introduction about my paper. So basically, I'm new in the research area. I'm pure IT guy, and I have been in IT last 10 years. And my next research in this one, like I finished my book, Applied AI Engineering, with the theory, code, and mathematics, because I got my bachelor in applied mathematics as well. So hopefully next papers will be in this area. Thanks you Thanks for your time. This is a short introduction from my side.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one question. How do
Yeah.
you ensure that improvements in the lead code problem solving transfer to real world database schema design?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, ma'am?
Yes, I will repeat the question.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that improvements in lead code problem solving transfer to real world database schema design?
It helps a lot because, for example, why we need lead code? With lead code, we need to hire best engineers, and if this developer can solve hard tip problem, like he has a good IQ as well, like we could use this kind of tricks in the real world example as well. Like I mentioned, for example, was this one. Like it's a real product from it's a real code, a real SQL code from our product, and even in the lead code, even hard to problems like we use last value and last first value is this kind of elements as well. Like it's related each other, I think.
All right.
Just the feedback as one of the session
Yep.
chairs. Firstly,
Yes, sir.
congratulations for this really amazing work. It's a very technical work,
Thanks.
and I'm really impressed by your deep knowledge of SQL, which I still couldn't learn after 35 years. I'm always forgetting SQL again and again. So it's a wonderful work. And I didn't know honestly about these different functions that you explained for in front of us, like last value. I didn't know that SQL function. So thank you for sharing that as well with us. Just such a
Sorry. I think your voice.
and also look at the there was a cut. I was just saying some other thing that you could do as future work could be also looking at the performance, like running performance. For example, for a data set with 1 million records, 10 million records,
Yep.
let's say under Microsoft Access, under MySQL, maybe PostgreSQL. Yeah, if you could do some type of experimental analysis and then show the true performance benefits, not only pedagogical benefits, which I think you got that number 5 through user survey, but also looking at the actual running time performance. That would be really valuable and it could encourage more. And you could even rank these like these different functions, these advanced functions, which one is really the most beneficial? Like what percentage improvement does each one of them bring? Maybe
Mhm.
the most effective one is this, etc., etc. So you could do this type of a ranking among them so that even if we cannot start using all 15 of them, we could start using maybe two, three of them at least. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Thanks for your advice. Like I will consider definitely for the next papers.
Our next presentation for today is by Caitlin Pillay, who will be presenting Cybersecurity Awareness Development Approaches for Diverse Audiences. Caitlin, you may start your presentation.
Thank you. Sorry, one second. Good afternoon, chairs, as well as fellow researchers. My name is Caitlin Pillay, and today I will be presenting our research titled Cybersecurity Awareness, Development Approaches for Diverse Audiences, conducted within the Department of Informatics at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. Cybersecurity threats are no longer just confined to IT departments, but rather they affect everyone, such as family, healthcare workers, teachers, governments, and entire nations. Yet, despite the growing sophistication of cyber threats, cybersecurity awareness programs are often designed using a one-size-fits-all model. So, our research explored why this approach is insufficient and what should be done instead. I will briefly cover the background, the research problem, our methodology, some of our key findings across demographics, and some of our concluding insights. So the background of this would be cybersecurity awareness goes beyond simply knowing what threats exist. Cybersecurity awareness involves understanding the risks, knowing how to prevent them, as well as having the attitude and behavioral ability to act safely. So it involves recognizing threats, understanding them, as well as anticipating the consequences of said threats. And most importantly, cybersecurity awareness is multidimensional. So it spans organizational, public, socio-political, ethical, and educational domains. Therefore, its effectiveness depends not only on the content, but also on how it is delivered and to whom it is delivered. A little bit of background. One of the most concerning findings in cybersecurity awareness research is overconfidence. In a recent African study done by KnowBe4, 83% of respondents believed that they could recognize cyber incidences. However, only 53% admitted that they did not actually know what ransomware was. This gap between perceived competence and actual knowledge creates a false sense of security and vulnerability. And this highlights why awareness must be measurable, contextualized, and behavior focused. So today we use tools such as online courses, emails, posters, and digital campaigns. And these are helpful, but research shows that they are not enough on their own. People learn better when training includes real-life examples, practice, simulations, and interactive activities. So the question becomes, how do we design training that works for different types of people? Our problem statement was straightforward. Cybersecurity awareness training does not work equally for everyone. And a generic training approach ignores differences in age, profession, context, digital literacy, and cognitive capacity. And these gaps become entry points for cyber attacks. Therefore, we ask a very important question. What are suitable methods for developing and assessing cybersecurity awareness among different demographics, such as age groups and professionals? So, our methodology was a systematic literature review across 4 major databases, namely Science Direct, Taylor and Francis, Web of Science, and Scopus. Our search strategy combined cybersecurity awareness with training, simulation, assessment, and demographic variables such as age group, and sector. And through a structured screening selection, we identified relevant studies that examined cybersecurity awareness interventions across diverse populations. And we then conducted a thematic analysis to identify recurring development approaches and evaluation methods. Our thematic analysis revealed multiple key user groups such as families, middle school children and teenagers, senior citizens, teachers, nurses, organizations, small and medium-sized enterprises, higher education, and lastly, cybersecurity awareness in developing countries. Some of our key findings for families include game-based learning, which proved highly effective. Tools such as the Cyber Family Game allow parents and children to learn collaboratively. And this approach strengthens both technical understanding as well as communication within households. Cybersecurity now becomes a shared responsibility and not just an isolated activity. For middle school and teenagers, we learned that general advice such as avoid suspicious websites is not enough, and effective training methods include password management, understanding the online law, recognizing phishing, and interactive learning such as games and role play. And it's very important to keep in mind that training must be age appropriate and continuous. It can't just be a once-off thing. For senior citizens, confidence building was essential. Training was recommended to be short, practical, and hands-on, and should consider challenges such as memory and processing speed of the elderly. Group learning and guided practice improve engagement and safety. Teachers often lack sufficient cybersecurity knowledge, limiting their ability to guide students. Flipped learning models and open access resources make training more accessible and scalable, and empowering teachers creates a multiplier effect within schools. So if the teachers are aware, the students will be aware. In the healthcare sector, data breaches are extremely costly, and nurses are our frontline defenders and often receive limited cybersecurity training. So, therefore, integrating cybersecurity awareness into nursing education through simulations, gamifications, etc., improves threat identification and response capabilities. Within organizations, awareness must connect to real risks. Training should be practical and based on real scenarios. Hands-on simulations improve behavior more than lectures alone. And for small to medium-sized enterprises, practical and customized training is essential. Workshops, micro-learning, gamification, and community-based approaches outperform strict penalty-driven systems, and repetition and policy alignment significantly enhance retention. In universities, behavior varies by gender, age, and academic discipline, and the cybersecurity awareness and training framework for higher education tailors global standards into academic contexts. And this just further backs up the fact that universities require customized frameworks rather than a generic corporate model. And last but not least, in developing countries, cybersecurity education often remains at early maturity stages, and barriers include limited budgets, insufficient coordination, lack of qualified educators, and migration of skilled professionals. Effective campaigns must align with the national cyber maturity and cultural context, and sustainable impact occurs when awareness integrates into legalization, education systems, as well as key industries. Our findings clearly demonstrate that cybersecurity awareness is context dependent. Engagement and behavioral change improve when programs incorporate game-based learning, simulations, role-playing, as well as real-life scenarios. Successful cybersecurity awareness requires a balance between individual skills, motivation, social influence, and institutional support. And to improve outcomes globally, programs must be interactive, tailored, culturally relevant, and empirically evaluated for long-term impact. Future research should prioritize scalable solutions for research-limited environments and long-term behavioral management. In conclusion, cybersecurity awareness cannot remain generic. It must evolve from information delivery to behavior transformation, and it must move from standardization to contextualization. And it must recognize that families, professionals, institutions, and nations require different development approaches. By designing tailored, interactive, and culturally sensitive programs, we can reduce vulnerability and strengthen global cyber resilience. Here's a list of the selected references that were used to form these slides. And lastly, thank you for your attention, and I welcome any questions.
Can I?
Yes.
Yes, firstly, congratulations for your wonderful summary. I learned so many new things about how cybersecurity can be taught. So, especially the last slide where you listed this discussion and the things that could be done and that shouldn't be done, that was very helpful. And I wanted to also share some information that could help you and your research and your organization for the future. Actually, as you can see in the chat window, one can also use cartoons, especially AI generated cartoons, because many of the elderly people, especially, they like learning from cartoons. They have grown up watching, reading cartoons, right? So cartoons, multimedia, etc. And these could all be used in developing, just more interactive and more engaging content. And my students actually, three of my students have done a project. The screenshots are from their Elder Safe. Actually, they got second award in a hackathon with this project, and the link to the website is also there in that project website. So hopefully, you can also take a look at this when it comes to multimedia, different type of multimedia that could be used for cybersecurity and any other type of computer science education. Another thing that I'd like to share is the following. Actually, there's a wonderful Google search that you could do, or anybody can do for that matter. And the result is games like the one that I'm sharing here. Okay, so this is a sample game. So best Steam games to learn cybersecurity. So if you search like this, you will realize that the famous Steam game platform, where you could find tens of thousands or maybe I don't know hundreds of thousands of games. They have some games for teaching different aspects of computer science, including cybersecurity. So if you search like this, you could find the link to the game that I showed, as well as some other games. So could be very effective because especially this current generation, Z generation, prefer learning by interactivity, gaming, gamification, rather than reading textbooks. So this could be quite effective in enhancing and even maybe revolutionizing the education of cybersecurity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is very, very helpful.
I
Do you have
have
any
one
more
question.
questions?
Yes,
Yes.
I have one question. How do you distinguish between increased awareness and the actual sustained behavioral change?
Okay, so that would probably be dependent on the results of the assessments that you've used. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm not sure if it's my connection.
All right.
I'm so sorry. Can you please repeat? I think I understood, but I think my connection was bad.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, so I think it was my connection. Can you please repeat the question one more time?
How do you distinguish between increased awareness and actual sustained behavioral change?
Okay, so I would definitely be dependent on the results of, sorry, I think it is my connection, would definitely be dependent on the results of the assessment used. So you wouldn't necessarily use quizzes, but you would rather use simulations, and the results of those simulations would be proof that there has been behavioral change as opposed to just a change in knowledge of cybersecurity awareness.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presentation for today is by Evelina Stepanova, who will be presenting Exploration regarding the functional architecture of an intelligent system for STEM education. Evelina, you may now begin.
Hello, do you hear me? Do you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, my name is Evelina Stefanova. I am a teacher, math teacher in secondary school at Bulgaria. And our title with Professor Marinka Ivanova is Exploration regarding the functional architecture of an intelligent system for STEM education.
Evelina, we
with
cannot see the presentation. Please share the presentation.
Okay, one moment, sorry. Now?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes. Oh, thank you. With the advancement of technology and the need for quality and effective education, STEM, as you know, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, learning takes on an important role not only to attract students' interest, but also to facilitate them to understand and apply complex and difficult to understand topics. To optimize the efficiency of the teaching process, teachers need to have the necessary knowledge and resources to implement the STEM-based lessons. This is an activity requires good preparation and involves the use of various technologies, including ones based on artificial intelligence. STEM education can be supported by a software system that contains ready-made STEM lessons, learning resources, and a wide variety of tools for communication and collaboration. Our paper aims to analyze the opinions of teachers who were surveyed online about the functional requirements of such a system. In the last few years, the theory and practice related to the implementation of STEM education have developed significantly. A number of STEM lessons have been created suitable for the acquisition of certain knowledge and skills by learners studying in courses at different educational levels. In secondary schools, various approaches are being introduced to actively involve students to participate in the planned learning takes during STEM lessons. It is very important their attention to be attracted to difficult to understand concepts and theories, as well as to be motivated to continue exploring thematic issues. This is possible if the developed learning units by the teacher are suitable for the target group of students. It is necessary for the teacher to formulate learning objectives according to what knowledge and skill the students need to acquire to prepare an appropriate technologically oriented learning environment and to facilitate the conductance of the learning tasks. The methodology applied in this study includes the following procedures: preparation of a survey instrument with questions for teachers in order to understand their view on the need for a software system to support STEM education, as well as what specific functions it should have. The survey is online distributed to teachers from several secondary schools in Bulgaria, and 52 responses are obtained. 84.6% of respondents are women. The age of the teachers is from 20 to 70 years, with the largest part of them being from 30 to 50 years old. When asked how long they have been working in the field of education, the largest part of the respondents answered 0-10 years. The survey teachers work at different stages of education. as 36% are teachers at the primary stage of education, and the rest of the lower secondary and upper secondary levels. Analysis and discussion of the teacher's responses is performed, and the functional architecture of an intelligent software system to support STEM teachers with a presented initial software prototype is presented. A survey tool is developed to understand the teacher's attitude regarding functional requirements for a software system supporting teachers in managing STEM education. The first question asks how often the teachers use digital resources in their work. The results show that the first group, 53% of respondents use digital resources every day. Nobody answered never. And from the answers, we see that the majority of teachers use digital resources in their work activities almost every day. The second multiple choice question asks how the teachers imagine software systems supporting them in managing STEM education. The results showed that the largest group responded access to learning resources. Another answers are creating STEM lessons unit, sharing STEM lessons unit, access to teacher training courses, designing STEM lesson, opportunity for portfolio space, possibility of synchronous and asynchronous communication, access to news and information, work and groups. And from these answers, it's become clear that the majority of teachers think that such a software system could offer a lot of different opportunities and would be useful for their teaching tasks. The aim of the next multiple choice question is to understand the opinion of teachers to what pedagogical scenario should a STEM lesson be oriented towards. The results show that the most preferred answers are learning by doing, solving a problem, cooperative work, project development, conducting an experiment, doing research. And from these answers, we see that STEM lessons could have a lot of different pedagogical scenarios which help important competencies to be developed. Other asked questions concerns how familiar are the teachers with the ideas and concepts of the STEM education. The results show that the first and biggest group, 73.1% of respondents have had some knowledge but not enough. And from these answers, it becomes clear that the majority of teachers do not have sufficient knowledge of the ideas and concepts of STEM education. The next question asked what resources do teachers want the software system to contain. The results show that the largest group said ready to use STEM lessons. Another answers are links to learning resources, video lessons, teacher courses, training videos, worksheets. It is obvious that a lot of teachers would use ready-made lessons and resources as well as participate in training courses to increase their knowledge and qualifications. Then, through multiple choice question, the teachers are asked what internal communication tools should be included. 71% responded chat for communication between teachers, then others are forum for sharing current issues and discussing possible answers, internal mail for quick message exchange, audiovisual virtual meeting room. And from the answers, we see that a majority of teachers think that the software system should have several internal communication tools. It was interesting to ask teachers whether they would use artificial intelligence to support their work on implementing STEM education. The results show that the largest group, 86% of them would use artificial intelligence to support their work on implementing STEM education. We asked teachers if they think students can use artificial intelligence when completing tasks in STEM lesson, and the results are exactly the same as the previous question. It is obvious that the majority of teachers believe that artificial intelligence can support both the work of teachers in STEM education and the performance of students' tasks in STEM lessons. So the software system should include functions for easy and user-friendly access to artificial intelligence-based tools to assist students and teachers different educational tasks. And in the following table, we summarize for what purposes artificial intelligence would be useful to achieve the goals to effective STEM education for students and teachers, and to develop receive instruction for a STEM lesson, for creating images, generate, explain lesson text, etc. The teachers are also asked what competencies they thought students should acquire after successfully completing STEM lessons. And we see the largest group, 80%, said creativity and creative thinking, collaboration and group work. The other answers are digital competencies, critical analysis, mutual assistance. The answers to this question point out that the majority of teachers think that students develop many important competencies at the same time during STEM educational process. And to summarize the survey results, we can say that a large part of the teacher expresses a positive attitude and say that STEM education is necessary, but they do not feel sufficiently prepared. Teachers share that this is the future and that STEM education develops in students various knowledge and skills such as critical thinking, creativity, cooperation. It is prerequisite, reliable, and lasting knowledge, preparing children to solve real-life problems. Respondents share that through STEM methods, the commitment and motivation of students can be increased. From the summary of the answers, it is clear that the majority of respondents are open to STEM education, but feel extremely unprepared for how to apply in practice. In this slide, we see the created functional architecture, which is based on the responses of the surveyed teachers and tailored to their needs and requirements. The most important elements that the virtual space for STEM learning should contain, according to the respondents, are as you see. The first is virtual space, a place with STEM lessons. Teachers and students has free access to library of ready-made STEM lessons, with teachers able to edit them and add new ones. Virtual space for learning resources. Teachers have access to that allows them to add and edit the learning resources. Students can use them, but without the right to edit and add. Personalized spaces. The administrator creates personalized spaces for users, students, and teachers, like portfolio, synchronous and asynchronous communication functions with possibility.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have about 1.5 minutes left.
Okay. Participation in groups, a function for groups, for team working. We have search tool for easy find different topics, STEM lessons or learning resources, access to artificial intelligence, and a news and information space. A first prototype of that software system is realized with the main functions presented in the functional architecture, a screen regarding the available resources for students in the form of monthly challenges, guest webinars, STEM workshops. We see in this slide. And for conclusion, we present a study on the need for an intelligent software system to support learning and teaching activities in implementing STEM education. Through a developed survey tool, the opinion of teachers from Bulgarian schools was taken on what functions such a software system should include. Based on their opinion, a functional architecture was built, the main function of which are tools for designing and editing STEM lessons, virtual space for resources, creating personalized space for students and teachers, organizing a portfolio, asynchronous and synchronous communication, access to artificial intelligence. The created software prototype consists of main functions planned through the prepared functional architecture, and our future work will be devoted to conductance of tests regarding the workability of the software system in real practice of STEM education, and analyzing the usefulness and effectiveness of integrated instruments. Thank you.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for the information that you provided and for the survey results where we learned a lot of things like what is important for the respondents, and these could be used in designing STEM educational platforms. Congratulations. I just want to ask two things. Number one, are you aware of brilliant.org? Brilliant.org. This is a platform for STEM education. It's commercial, unfortunately, but it's a wonderful platform.
Oh no, thank you for information. I hear for this platform for first time, but I will see it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been searching these platforms for the last 35 years, so this is by far the best platform that I have seen. So it could really benefit you. So my question to you would be, Dr. Stefanova, you provided a nice architecture, basically a system design. How does your architecture compare with other, LMS or let's say overall educational platforms? How does your architecture differ from the other existing commercial, open source, or other platforms in the literature?
I know that there are a lot of platforms. More of them are commercial, but our platform will have free. Will be free for teachers. Our platform will be for students. And I think that the communication is the most important because the teacher have the need to have a connection.
Okay, do you know that some AI platforms, such as Cursor AI and even ChatGPT has now codecs, as long as you put in the architecture and as long as you write your expectations, even your prioritization, it could automatically generate a somewhat working software system. Nowadays, there is this technology available. So even if you may not be yourself a programmer, with the correct specifications, you could also use these platforms to generate the code and even not only propose an architecture, but actually develop the system itself as well, for your information. Cursor.io is very important and very popular, and there are also many other platforms, just for your information.
Thank you very much.
Hello, can I ask one question?
Yes.
Okay. Have you conducted any simulation or implementation to validate your architecture effectiveness?
Can you repeat the question?
Have you conducted any simulation or implementation to validate the architectural effectiveness? I think
If I can answer to this question, because I am co-author of this paper. Actually, Evelina prepares software platform and it is implemented it different technologies, and also one class is involved in testing the platform. So maybe in the future paper we will announce the results after testing the platform, its operability and usefulness for teachers and for students.
you're all right.
Yeah, so the answer is yes. We have a prototype with first testing period.
All right.
So we'll now be moving on to the last presentation for today. So next we have Dario Victor Nandero, who will be presenting Gamification and Learning in Mozambican Higher Education, a case study using Kahoot. Dario, you may now start your presentation.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Can you share my screen?
We can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, distinguished member of the conference. My name is Dario Nyandoro, and it's an honor to present my study entitled Gamification and Learning in Mozambique Higher Education, a case study using Kahoot. This study examines how gamification through Kahoot can support the student learning and engagement in Mozambique higher education. This is my agenda. Higher education is experience rapid data information, yet traditional teaching methods often fail to sustain student engagement. Gamification introduces game elements into learning to increase motivation and interaction. Kahoot is a widely used tool for this purpose, but research in Mozambique higher education remains limited. Great need for this study. Research on gamification in higher education is being expanded globally. However, most existing studies are concentrated in regions such as Europe, Asia, and North America. In contrast, there are still relatively few studies focused on the using of gamification in Mozambique higher education. In particular, empirical evidence on the application of Kahoot in outside university context remains limited. As a result, they are needed to better understand how gamification influence student motivation, relating with the Mozambique higher education context. The main objective of this study is to examine the impact of gamification to the motivator in Mozambique higher education. More specifically, the study aims to analyze the student perception of using Kahoot as a learning tool and to explore how gamification can enhance classroom engagement and participation. To this case, the research seek to contribute empirical evidence to the discussion innovative, innovative teaching practices in the Mozambique context. Regarding the methodology, this study adopts quantitative research approach using case design. The research was conducted in Mozambique higher education context, where Kahoot was integrated into classroom activities. Data were collected through a questionnaire administered to students after the gamified learning sessions. The clear data were analyzed using descriptive statistics in order to understand the student perception and motivation levels. This slide outline the participants and the data collection instrument used in this study. The research involved 59 fifth year undergraduate students and the 9 lecturers from the Faculty of Engineering. They are collected using the questionnaire semester prep interview in the classroom observation. So it was used as a gamified tool for quizzes and formative assessment. This slide presents results related to student participation. Different show that approximately 90% of students actively participate in the Kahoot sessions. Kahoot increase in the interaction and motivation, while real-time feedback help it maintain student engagement throughout the activities. Overall, students describe the learning experience as enjoyable, competitive, and interactive. This slide shows the results related to learning in the retention. About 58 students reported better understanding the long-term retention. Instant feedback during quizzes help it reinforce key concepts. Repetition through gamified activities support learning and celebration. Overall, students start that would help them remember content more easily. From the lecture perspective, the results were also very positive. 78% of lecture report high levels of student engagement during Kahoot sessions, and all lecturers agreed that Kahoot is a useful formative assessment tools. They highlight several benefits, include immediate insight into student learning, better monitoring of academic progress, and increased classroom interaction. However, our lecture also reports some challenge, mainly the time required to design quizzes. You need to align the content with learning objectives and the occasional technical difficulties. Overall, gamification support active and student-centered learning, Kahoot increasing student motivation and participation, mainly throughout immediate feedback. However, its effectiveness depends on good pedagogical design and should complement traditional teaching methods. In conclusion, gamification increases student motivation, engagement, and learning how to support the interactive and student-driven participation, promoting a shift toward active play. However, its success depends on the institutional and element digital pedagogy and the great technological support. For future work, this study recommends comparing different gamified platforms, finding the research toward the faculties and the universities, the analysis how contextual factors influence learning outcomes. Longitudinal study are also needed to assess long-term motivation and direction. Finally, strengthening teaching training and institutional technological infrastructure is essential. Thank you for your attention. Question are welcome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Or actually make a comment, basically. Are you using the free version still of Kahoot? How big is it? I mean, is it allowed to go all the way, or do you need to start paying money?
If, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm asking,
Slow? Yeah.
are you using the free plan, or do you have to pay money for Kahoot?
I'm using the no no the I'm paying about $20 $20.
Oh, so
Uh
you are paying money. Okay, I just want to share
yeah,
something. This is the software that I am using. It's called Crowd Party, and it's basically a
okay,
substitute. It's a substitute for Kahoot and other similar software. But Kahoot is too much popular, and the free version of Kahoot is not really that good. This software, I mean,
yes,
it's not that big. Sorry, you cannot do a lot of things. It's limited. It's very good software, but it's limited. So I would
yes,
suggest that you try out this crowd party software that is sold under AppSumo. So what you could do with this is it has a lifetime deal, but right now it's sold out. So if you want to take this research further, you could get the lifetime deal at AppSumo. They make discounts and special sales on special days. For example, let's say Valentine Day or Easter, like this on special days, Christmas, Labor Days, as such. On those special days, some of the software that are sold out are sold again. So maybe you can try to
okay,
buy this software and you pay only one time. Maybe let's say it's 50, $150, $100, and then you can use
okay,
until the end of life.
okay, thank you.
It's a lifetime deal. You could use this software, and it's almost as good as Kahoot. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for recommendation. Thank you.
Okay. I have one question.
Yes.
Can I? Did you
Yes,
compare
yes.
did you compare exam scores before and after Kahoot implementation?
Um, uh, uh, I I put sort of engineer and oh, engineer electrotechnics and accounts. I compare these two courses.
One more question I have.
Yes, yes,
How
yes.
did how did you ensure alignment between the Kahoot quizzes and engineering learning outcomes?
Okay. Can you repeat? My English is too little.
How did you ensure alignment between Kahoot quizzes and engineering learning outcomes?
Mm, Um, can you repeat it? 1 minute? Just okay. Yes. Can you repeat? Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Can you repeat?
How did you ensure alignment between Kahoot quizzes and engineering learning outcomes?
Okay. Um,
Okay, I have next question.
okay.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay. Was the student engagement measured objectively or based on observation? Student engagement measured objectively or based on observation?
Student engagement measure objectively
Or
based on
by observation?
okay. Okay. I think that design because research in Mozambique in a hard tech remains limited. I mix it, matched design, a qualitative approach a lot for children method and student motivation and perception. However, qualitative elements such as an interview were also included to prove the interpretation of the findings.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Data were analyzed using descriptive statistics, allowing from the identification of percentage trends and patterns in student response.
Okay, all right.
Um, the main challenge include the inequal access to internet, limited technological infrastructure, and the need for communication system training in design pedagogy. Kahoot can be adapted to various disciplines. However, its effectiveness depends on the nature of the content and its learning outcomes. The quizzes were developed based on the cards, symbols, and the specific learning objective, ensuring between content assessment and expected outcomes. Yes. So,
Are there any other questions from the chairs?
No question. All right.
All right. Thank you, Dario.
thank you.
I would now like to move towards the closing remarks. Dario, you can stop presenting. I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentations and contributions in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope that this session was informative for everyone, and on behalf of the entire team, I thank you for your support during this 11th version and all the previous 10 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 12th version in 2027. All presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within the next 2 working days. The publication will be live within 7 to 8 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2026. I also like to thank our session chairs, Dr. Gurdal Ertek and Dr. Sridevi Vasekar. And on behalf of the team ICICT and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners, we would like to present these certificates of appreciation to the chairs. Thank you so much for your valuable presence. Before we end the session, I would kindly request everyone to please turn on their cameras for a quick virtual snapshot. All right. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and take care. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks a lot.